Hey, David here with DIY Mountain Bike. We're going to step through the tools to build an electric bike, specifically a mid-drive electric bike. So I'm going to start out with the tools to disassemble the bike, then we'll jump into the tools to assemble the bike itself. So I got some resources in the description. One's going to be to the toolbox. Most of the stuff, they're like specialty kind of tools. You almost need a toolbox specific to bikes in order to build this thing up. The other thing I'm going to link to, in fact, heck, let's just jump into a screencast of the resource I've got on my website. It's going to be step-by-step articles and videos to build an electric bike.
Hey, David here. I'm breaking in real quick. That link I keep mentioning takes you to a step-by-step page. Picking the right bike, what's inside the kit, disassembling your bike, installing the motor, 5 steps for an e-bike wiring and components, putting your taillight on, routing and organizing, and then it goes into other items as well. Each one of these pictures you can click on is an article with, in this case, detailed instructions for installing the motor, what tools do you need, and then it includes a video. So I keep mentioning, go to that link below. This is why I've got it all organized in a nice, clean format for you to take you from start to end.
So I don't know if I have them in exact order, but this is the list of tools in front of you right now that you would use to disassemble a bike, a regular bike, and turn it into an e-bike. So disassembly at this point. So chain breaker, this guy right here, most likely you're going to have to take the chain off your bike in order to take the front shifter, that front derailleur off the bike, okay? The other thing, usually you might need a screwdriver, both a Phillips and a flathead, in order to, do some stuff maybe back on the cables on that derailleur, or up at the handlebars. You might need this screwdriver. A set of hex wrenches, for sure, an 8mm for the crank, and then assorted sizes, 4s and 5s, and sometimes a 3 for items on your handlebars, a 15mm wrench, or a pedal wrench, one or the other. It's going to work. The 15mm wrench is going to be used to take off the pedals, right? And then, or it's going to be used in a lot of times in order to take out the crank bolt, right? You're going to need a crank puller, okay, and a 15mm socket, which this has built in. All right, so this ends the crank puller. See if we can get that in focus for you, crank puller. You're going to need a bottom bracket tool, basically to take your bottom bracket cassette, your cartridge out. That's that guy right there. Used a lot of times, a little bit greasy. Pedal wrench, 15mm. Again, most bikes, you're going to need a pedal wrench. A lot of times these wrenches, it's a little bit thinner than a standard open-end 15mm, right? And then you can also use it on the socket for your crank puller right there. Cable cutters, probably going to need to clip the cables that went to your front derailleur. Clip those guys off, makes it a lot easier for, cleaning up the bike, disassembling. And then maybe some little clippers. I love these little guys. I use those for cutting your zip ties. So let's jump into the tools to build up your bike next. Let me get them out. So as we start talking about the tools to assemble an e-bike, I would seriously consider getting a stand. They don't cost a whole lot of money. We're talking about something over $100. I actually bought an upgraded bike stand. It's a repair stand. It has been just a treat to work with. E-bikes are heavy and you need something that supports them well. So what are the tools? In particular, you're going to need something to tighten the big nuts that are on the bottom bracket. So there's some big bottom bracket lock nut. You're going to use this Befang tool that comes with it. And I would also recommend maybe buying a dedicated tool for this as well, a little bit longer. The offset allows you to really crank down and tighten items nice. You're going to need hex wrenches, right? Again, jumping in all the things here at the front chain ring. On the other side, you've got all of the locking bolts, and then you're going to be putting on all your nice little gizmos and things on the handlebar, along with mounting your battery. Those are all hex bolts that usually are 4s or 5s, but get a nice set. You're going to need an 8mm hex wrench for your crank arm, 15mm wrench, or a pedal wrench, because with the kit you actually swap your pedals from the old bike to the new one. So this guy I actually upgraded to some Rock Brothers. Makes me feel good and secure. A big wide platform. Pedal wrench we talked about. Oh, a rubber mallet. Really nice to have a rubber mallet. I will show real quick what you use that for, but tightening down those lock nuts on the non-drive side of the motor itself, it's almost one of those things where you can't get that thing tight enough. You're going to use this end of the fang wrench itself, and then get ready to clip a whole bunch of zip ties. I got all kinds of zip ties, everything from back here in the lighting, you know, running down through here, down to the motor, up the down tube, and then some things to make it nice and clean up here at the handlebars. So those are the tools. Stay tuned, check out those links in the description, and that's going to take you to a step-by-step build instruction for a mid-drive bike. Thanks.